So I'm here with Ryan Kelly, and you did the film Cameo, and I talked to you about it before, but how'd you come up with the concept for Cameo?
Yeah, it really just started. It was two things really. It was wanting to do work within the supernatural horror genre, which I felt like lended itself to very, very visual storytelling. And then from that kind of so that impulse kind of led to the other component, which was building a story around a cursed object, which is an old trope, goes basically as old as stories itself. I thought that would be a great thing to build a low budget movie around because you just take this everyday object that takes on this large significance within the story. Um, I think the process was I said necklace, and then my co-writers, also my wife, said a cameo necklace, and then we settled on the title cameo, and then from there, yeah, it was just trying to build characters and try to build this world, which is a process that's still ongoing as we're trying to develop it into a feature.
Nice. Yeah. So, how did you go about getting the actors for the film or your actress?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we held an open casting call for one of the supporting roles. We didn't really know anyone for that. We cast out of that. That was Casey Landman, who plays Margaret, who's in the opening scene. Everyone else was referrals and word of mouth. Sarah, who's the lead, had been on my radar for a while. I mean, if you're paying any attention
A
to the,
horror person.
yeah, the horror scene or the local scene at all, she's kind of inescapable. um, she's very prolific. So yeah, I just asked the director I knew who worked with her what he thought. He's like, she's great, and she was. So yeah, I sent her the script, and she wanted to do it, and it wound up being great. It was a really good, working relationship, and it's become a very good friendship too. So
That's cool. So, how long did it take to work on the film? A couple days on set.
yeah, it was 5 shooting days total, spread out over a very long time, starting in August 2019, ending in April of 2021. We had some delays. We had the pandemic. So yeah, it was a really long, protracted production schedule, but everyone stuck with it. I mean, when I on that last day in April 2021, I looked around. It was the same sound guy as the first day. It was my DP stuck with it. Sarah stuck with it. Obviously, it was like, oh, okay, everyone really saw it through, which was really special.
That's cool because I'm talking to a number of people, obviously, and some people saying that happened, but they had different DPs, different sound people. So that's really cool that he had the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, it was really touching, actually. Yeah, because it was long, and obviously we'd all been through a lot. By April 2021, we'd all been through a lot, whether it
Mm.
was the pandemic and people getting divorced and all kinds, all the personal ups and downs. So yeah, to stick with this little movie was really nice for
There
sure.
was a lot of divorce during the pandemic, wasn't there?
It'll put your relationship to the test.
Mm,
So you come out. I think it's something you come out stronger
no.
or don't.
No, no. S- Talking about so Cameo had some legs on it there. It's been playing all over the place, like I've seen it. So in many different festivals. So you're saying are you going to continue submitting it, or is it kind of towards the end of its run?
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear back from a bunch of fests. We have Oregon Screams later this month. We have Chain the same weekend as Brightside, so I'm really looking forward to that. We're down in Macabre Fair uh,
Mm,
in Tennessee next month, which I'm thinking of going to.
that's pretty
Uh,
cool.
yeah, it's worth the trip.
I think so. Well, I've never been to Tennessee, so so I want to go.
Yeah, yeah, I want to check it out. Yeah, I think I want to check it out for sure. Yeah, so still waiting to hear back from a bunch, but I'm not submitting it quite as actively. It's getting to be time to probably start thinking about another short. And of course we're trying to work on this as a feature. So yeah, trying
Yeah.
to finish up a current draft and start getting people looking at it. So
How is it making the short and then transferring it into a feature?
hard.
Easy, hard, hard. Yeah.
I think I'd seen people who like had a feature script, and then to do the proof of concept, they took a component of the feature script and turned it into a short. So
Yeah.
that seems like a probably a better way of doing things than taking your short, turning it into a feature, because it's like,
Have you
it's
done
not.
it before? Have you made a short into a feature before?
No, no, no. I haven't made a feature yet, so I'm still
Mm,
working on getting my first feature off the ground. So hoping it's gonna be Cameo.
oh,
But yeah, so it turns out to be a lot thinner a concept as you actually start to try to develop a 90 or 100-page script around it. So yeah, you have to figure out how to beef it up. And honestly, a lot of that process has been looking at the short and showing it to people, and people have questions like, "What did this mean? What's really
mm,
happening here?" A lot of it is kind of left ambiguous, and it was stuff that in the writing of the short, I wasn't really thinking about. It was just kind of like, oh, this sounds cool, or this looks cool, or let's do this. Like this could be fun. And then it's like, okay, well, yeah, like so it's been kind of like taking stock of what's in the short. How can that be expanded upon in a meaningful way, and answer the questions people have? Because I feel like if it's raising questions, then maybe that's the feature should serve as something that answers those. So it's been a challenge, but it's been a fun process too.
Where did you end up filming it?
All around the tri-state area. The opening scene is in my bedroom at the time, so I slept in that like chaos for a couple days. We put like soy sauce on the wall to make it look grimy and coffee grounds. It smelled just awful. The apartment is my friend Elizabeth, who was also the AD on the film. That's her apartment, and it's like one tenth in Amsterdam in the city. The college is Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken, where my wife and who co-wrote and co-produced the movie, where she went to school. She got her master's degree from there. So they were really awesome. They were really nice to us. And it's a great location for sure. It's really beautiful library, and I think it
Yeah,
definitely
that was a nice library. I was like, where is that?
down in Hoboken, right? Just very close to Brightside.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they were great to us. They were nicer to me than my own college. They kicked once I was graduated. They kicked me right to the curb. Maybe I deserve it. I don't know.
Yeah, right. So, what other than writing the feature script, you got anything else you're working on? Any other shorts or anything else?
Yeah, starting to kick around a short idea that's going to be like a sci-fi horror piece is where I'm thinking.
Cool.
Yeah, stick with the horror thing.
Yeah.
Before I even made horror movies, like I just liked kind of the local horror scene a lot. I like kind of it's laid back. Everybody's super nice. It's very supportive. Like it's a special bunch for sure.
And they're fun to make. They're fun to make.
I know there's something kind of lighthearted about a horror set. I guess because I think you have the outlet for everything that's dark. So yeah, there's something very like fun about putting it together, and the problem solving of how do you do a special effect is a lot of fun, or how do you do this, or there are times I had to edit it on set. But yeah, the short, yeah, will be like kind of in the sci-fi horror. So that's at the very, very early stages. But yeah, it's getting to be time to start thinking
Absolutely.
about the next one for sure.
Cool. What about some of your older stuff? Where can you see it anywhere, or is it out there?
Sure, my short Mania can be seen on Amazon Prime. It's behind a paywall, unfortunately. Mania, excuse me, Amazon's not like as friendly to shorts as it used
Yeah,
to
they
be.
changed, right? It's a little.
It's awful. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it used to be I would just let people watch. If you had the subscription, watch it for free. Like I just want
Mhm.
people seeing it. Like it's a short. It's not a it's not a
Yeah.
money making enterprise. But yeah, it's behind a paywall. People do rent it though.
Mm,
I'm surprised every quarter or so I get my couple of bucks from
that's
Amazon.
cool.
Yeah, hey, it's better than nothing, I guess. So yeah, that can be seen on Amazon Prime. But if anybody wants to just reach anybody who sees this wants to reach out to me, you can find me at my website ryangkelly.com, Instagram at Ryan G Kelly. I'm happy to just send a screener. And then my first short, The Hunted, is on my Vimeo. That can just be seen for free because it's not my best work. It was kind of it's not bad, but
Yeah.
you got to start somewhere, and it was just a bizarre experience. We'll talk more about that on Sunday.
So, how did it go from that first one all the way to through Cameo?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, it was. If I had to summarize, I guess the process there, it was like in my mind, The Hunted was like this very, very serious like crime drama, and it turned
Mhm.
out to be this kind of like weird, pulpy, film noir kind of genre movie. And then my next short, Mania, was much better, but it had a similar thing where I'm like, in my mind, this is kind of a very serious like marriage drama, and then I
Yeah.
look at it and get it done, and it's like, oh, okay, I just made like a kind of strange like weird genre movie. So going into Cameo, I'm like, okay, I clearly make weird genre movies. So I'm gonna just run with that. And, like that's clearly my style. And I think it was Guillermo del Toro. I'd read like he said this is something filmmakers often go through where you have to look at your early work and like see what's weird about it and what's not working, and then there's a way to sort of start making what's weird about your sensibility work for you. So I think that was definitely on my mind going into Cameo. It's like, okay, I got to take what doesn't work and make it work. And yeah, no, this has gotten a much better reception than the last two things I made for sure.
Yeah, played a lot. I remember we had some fun down in New Jersey Horrorcon with it. And
Oh, that was a great. That was a good time. I love that statue in the shape of the bloody skull in the shape of New Jersey. I didn't know how
yeah.
badly I needed that on my shelf
Oh yeah, yeah,
until I got
definitely.
it. It's really great.
I remember a long time ago I had accepted on someone's behalf, so I was holding on to it for a long time, and I'm like, I want to keep this thing.
It's really cool. It's really really cool.
Yeah, that's funny. But
Yeah, that was great. Although I had to, I got locked out of my Airbnb, so I couldn't change.
oh,
I gave me a code.
that's right. Do you remember you saying that when you were there?
I'm dressed like a bum, basically. Like I would dress around the house. Yeah, because the guy, he gave me a code for the door for the Airbnb, and
Didn't work.
like, I'm you like you had one job, man. Like get me into my Airbnb so I could change and dress like an adult. But whatever, it's the horror con, I think.
The HorrorCon, yeah. People are dressed up as Jason and Freddy. No one really would care.
I love it, and I'm really glad. It's shown at a variety of fests. It's shown at Katra, it's shown at the Long Island Film Expo, and it's also getting airplay at the horror conventions, which is great. It's shown
Yeah.
at the Houston Horror Film Festival, which is a convention.
Yeah, I like that one too.
It showed at one in Tampa, the Halloween Horror Picture Show, and I think it's in Tampa. No, it's in Orlando.
Did you ever do Days of the Dead? Days of the Dead?
No, no, no. Where is that?
They go to like 4 different cities. It's like and every quarter, like it's Indianapolis. I just missed Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think last time I checked, like the submissions were closed, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
that one is on my radar for sure.
So they do like Atlanta, Indianapolis, Vegas, and Chicago,
Yeah,
and they just rotate.
yeah. I think I've checked like every so often, and every time I've gotten the entries
It's fun.
closed.
It's a good time. I went to the Atlanta one, and then I was supposed to go to Indianapolis, but I had to cancel because of things that happened here. So
Always something.
always something. But yeah. So man, I can't wait. I got less than a week, and then Brightside. So should be
I know it's gonna be a great day. 78 films.
yeah, and it's gonna be pretty crowded. We sold like a lot of pre-sales, so I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm like, we got pre-sales, and then we got the filmmaker tickets. Oh my god. Should be good. So I don't know when, or like, because I haven't looked at the breakdown yet of what the tickets are. So everyone comes at a certain time, like 3 o'clock, it just gets packed.
Yep, that's about when I plan to show up, 2-3 o'clock.
So,
But I'll be there all day at that point for sure. So
Yeah.
I got to figure out which blocks I want to go to, like in the different.
There's some good stuff, so it'll be fun. So, but a lot of it, when I say 78 films, a lot of it's like the high school and college sets, because their films are like boom, 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 boom for the most part. So then it gets more normal.
No, but it's great. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you give the students a platform too. It's great too.
Yeah.
'Cause that was a big. I had a lot of issues with going to film school, but for me, that was one of the big ones of them. Like one of the big failings was like they didn't like really educate you on like this local film scene and this local film community at all. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you had to like discover, and it's a great thing. And there's a lot of really wonderful, supportive people. It's a really good thing, and it's just like yeah, like if you're not getting your work seen by people outside of like your bubble, like what good is it? Like you got to get your work screened. You got to get out there. You got to meet people. Like
Yeah, right.
there's no substitute for it. And
That's the name of the game. That's how you do it. So I tell actors that all the time that are up and coming, like, you have to go to these things if you want to meet people, get more work, and then they like never show up.
always, yeah. No, I feel like I've had this conversation with so many different people, so many different festival directors. Like I don't understand. Like people who made like my last short, like one of the actors did, but like the lead really didn't go to anything.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't get it. It's like you might as well have not done it.
And then when they do that and then they complain they don't get work, then I'm like, I told you what to do.
There's no substitute for meeting people, and I think that's certainly a big thing that the last couple of years have shown. There's a big world out there. You got to get out from behind your desk. You got to do it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to going to Portland and meeting a whole different film scene and film.
That's gonna be cool. That's why I love doing this. Like, you get to travel and be like, going to Portland.
Yeah, exactly. I've been hoping to get to LA, but I haven't been able to get into any LA fest. So I'm like, I guess
It's
LA is a
so
different beast.
it is. I guess it's like when you're out in the East Coast and it's hard to get out there, I guess.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think my next project's gonna have to be like with LA based people, and yeah, try to get something going out there because yeah, it's like we see LA stuff at East Coast Fest all the time, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if the reverse is so true.
It,
Uh,
I don't think it is. I think I started like getting into more Texas stuff, so Texas kind of likes Jersey people now, I guess.
yeah, I'm hoping to go to Austin too. That's definitely on my wish
Yeah.
list is getting
So
into an Austin Fest because
I just
Austin's a great
I
town.
just went to visit Austin because I was going down to Houston and I'm like, I've never been to Austin, so I went to Austin and it's fun. It's a
Yeah,
good time.
it seems like a great like creative town for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's on my wish list to get a dual C. We're waiting to hear back from a couple.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's I enjoy it now is the travel part. So I like to when you first start doing this, I did a lot of New York, New Jersey Fest. Met a lot of people. Now I'm like trying to go further.
Exactly. No, no, no. Yeah, you gotta
Where
expand.
can I go visit? When let's look at the dates. Can I go visit here? Can I go there? And then you don't get in. You're like, oh man, I wanted to go.
Well, some of them give you no notice too. Some of them give you like 2 weeks. It's like, okay, I
Yeah,
can't really plan a trip to
can't get
Florida
it.
or Ohio.
No,
Yeah, like yeah, the Macabre Fair gave me like more than a month. That's great. Like they
because
gave
the
me like
plane tickets go up. Plane
yeah,
tickets go up.
yeah, absolutely. So it's like some of them. So that's part of the issue too is not getting enough notice from some of these.
Yeah, unfortunately, but oh man. So do you have anything else you want to promote or talk about, or can we any websites or anything?
Yeah, please, whoever sees this, look me up, RyanGKelly.com, or I'm on Instagram at RyanGKelly. I'm always happy to hear from anyone. You want to say hi, you want to work together. I'm always happy to hear from anyone. So yeah, but yeah, we pretty much touched on everything I have going on. So thanks for
Cool.
that.
Awesome.